Hello guys and gals, it is Sydney Island here. That's Island with the Y, not an S. And today we're going to talk about Lilith in Gemini. Before I get into the topic of this video, I would like to let you all know that I do birth chart readings, so hit me up at s.island55@yahoo.com if you're curious to know about your sun, moon, rising, Mercury, even the planets in the 12 houses. Yes, your girl do that too, so hit me up for that birth chart reading, and also follow me on my social medias. Now before I get into the video, I would like to go over the poll that I had asked you all on my community tab, and it was, out of these signs, which do you think is most likely to be jealous of Aries? And y'all voted mostly for Leo, which makes a lot of sense because both Leo and Aries are very competitive and very good at shining. Okay, they steal the spotlight. Okay, so I can see them kind of fighting for the spotlight there, them being both fire signs. But honestly, these two make great friends, all right? So let's get into Lilith and Gemini. Okay, so Lilith in astrology. This is your dark, this is the dark side of your personality. This is the dark side of your sexuality. This is the side of you that has these dark sexual fantasies or weird, kinky sexual fetishes and things like that, all right? This is the dark side of your personality that may be a little bit more of a side that you're ashamed of, or the side of you that's a bit extreme, okay, and a bit wild and crazy that maybe you try to suppress. Or maybe your Lilith has gotten the best of you. I created a Lilith in astrology video, and I went in depth of Lilith, and that will be in the eye in one of these corners here. So click that so you can get a deeper explanation of Lilith. All right. So Lilith in Gemini. You're nasty. You're nasty. You got a dirty mind, and a dirty mouth. That's right. I was debating whether to title this video Dirty Mouth or The Trickster, but most likely I'll title this video The Trickster. Okay, because those two really fit with the Lilith and freaking Gemini. Gemini is the sign of communication, all right? The third house is the house of communication, which is Gemini's house. It's the house of communication, thinking, writing, words, speech, your throat, all right? All up in here, all up in that throat chakra, your mouth. That's Gemini. So you have a dirty mouth and you have a sharp tongue with the Lilith and Gemini, okay? Because Gemini is a sign of speech, it can corrupt your speech, because Lilith is the corruption and the perversion of the zodiac signs, right? So it can make you somebody who says very corrupt, dirty, off-putting things that make people go, ugh, like, why would you say that? Or like, what's wrong with you? Like, control your mouth. Somebody who can really cut people with their words. Someone who is very intelligent and uses that to their advantage in a negative way. Someone who can be very manipulative with the knowing that they are extremely clever and extremely intelligent. They understand how to use words. Or it could be on the extreme end and they're very quiet because they're hard on themselves when it comes to using words. They want to come off as intelligent to people. They want to make sure that they say the right thing. So these people could be very quiet and afraid to speak because they're so hard on themselves when it comes to speech. You know, that's the extremes. Or someone who just blurts things out of their mouth without thinking much about it. This could also be someone who gossips too much. A part of your karmic duty as a Lilith and Gemini is to figure out a better way to communicate and to steer away from the gossip, okay? These people can start some shit. Lilith and Gemini energy can be very promiscuous. You're nasty. Very promiscuous, very sexual. But this is an air sign, so it's mental. The way that you feel about sex is more of a mental thing than a physical thing, like someone who has a Lilith in Taurus, for example, which is extremely physical. You may be sexual just for your own mental gain, you know, to like gain experiences sexually that help you to be better creatively, you know, to be like a better writer or something, because Gemini does rule writing. So you may partake in sex solely just to be like a better writer or a better creator. This is someone who can start a lot of arguments if they're not careful, because they kind of just blurt things out without thinking about it, and they say a lot of offensive stuff. This could be someone who says stuff just for shock value, just to make someone go, you know, or like, what? You know, they like to say stuff to surprise people or to provoke something in people or to upset them, or, you know, they like to pry into people's minds and say things that may not be true. Let's not forget about that. Lilith and Gemini can be prone to just straight up being a liar. Somebody who exaggerates the truth and they make up a bunch of stuff just for entertainment or just to get a reaction out of somebody or just to manipulate somebody. You know, they like to pry into people's minds just to see like what's underneath. You know, they pry through communication. At a very young age, you may have been repressed, or like, is that the word, suppressed? Like your parents or your guardians may have suppressed you, and you know, they didn't allow you to speak your mind, or you were judged or scolded for speaking your mind, thus either creating somebody who was scared to speak their mind and didn't feel that they were worthy to speak their mind, or someone who felt like that they needed to rebel and been like, screw it, like my whole life I never got to say what I wanted to say, so I'm gonna say everything now. And so they pretty much are just like cutthroat, very, you know, raw. And I don't have a Lilith in Gemini, but I can relate feeling suppressed with like feeling like I couldn't say what I wanted to say. And so sometimes I would go overboard and like use curse words that I knew would, you know, make people feel some type of way, or say some really sexual stuff. This is also somebody who likes a lot of attention. You know, someone who could be a serious attention. I don't want to say the word because I might get demonetized if I say the word, but it starts with a W and ends with a or. Someone who is really attention seeking, you know, someone who, you know, can even be deeply hurt if they are ignored. They can't stand it when people don't listen to what they have to say, you know, even if it's not even important what they have to say. They really want to be heard. They really want to communicate. They really want to talk. It's really important for them to have people that they can talk to. These are very social people, and people who could be very socially charismatic. You know, they know how to like charm you when it comes to just being around people. Like, these are some really good people. Extroverts. Let's just say these people can be very extroverted, okay? Very charming. They know like the right words to say to charm you. It's all about the words. It's all about the mouth. They're very promiscuous, very curious when it comes to sex. They want to experiment as much as they freaking can, and that's also a form of rebellion for them. Since Gemini is a sign of the twins, on the extreme end, this could be someone who has severe bipolar disorder, someone who switches from different moods and different personalities like really fast, you know, extreme mood swings and things like that. And I think about the actor Shia LaBeouf, who's a Gemini sun with a Lilith in Gemini. And there's been a lot of stuff in the media that's just been coming up with his ex-girlfriends talking about how he was very abusive and crazy. And there was this clip online of him like yelling at his girlfriend in the street, threatened to like abuse her or something like that. And that's the extreme case of Lilith and Gemini. And he has a Gemini sun on top of that. So like, when with their words, they'll threaten you, you know, like they could be really crazy. And there was like a part of the rumors that he might have some type of mental illness that's similar to bipolar disorder. I don't know if it's bipolar disorder, but it seems like it to me, like looking at the guy. I called you the trickster because you are really good at tricking people with your words. You can make someone think that you're one way, but actually secretly be another way. Or you could really think that you are the way that you are portraying yourself to be. You could really be deceived and think that you are one way, but actually you're another way. Or you could be two different ways and be conflicted as to who you really are. So you may have a bit of an identity crisis with this placement because you feel like you're two people, the twins. So you may battle, man. You battle with those two sides, man. Like, this is the monster of the twins. The monster of, oh my gosh, there's two people living in my head. Which one do I be? Which one do I listen to? All right? This could be the type of energy of somebody who struggles with trying to find a balance between their masculine and feminine energy. They just have issues balancing complete opposites of things, you know, and they could end up going over to one side and being really extreme, or just being extremely indecisive. And your trickster qualities could go as far as to you being someone who is capable of fraud, pretending that you're somebody. You know, like that movie, The Talented Mr. Ripley? I love that movie with Matt Damon and Jude Law. Watch that movie. Well, The Talented Mr. Ripley, he pretended that he was a whole nother person. He killed this guy and pretended that he was him. He took his identity, all right? He killed this guy and took his wallet and pretended that he was him, right? That's kind of like a Lilith and Gemini, you know, someone who is very intelligent and very clever and literally could do something like that, like some real trickery type stuff where like, yeah, you think I'm Dickie, but I'm really Tom, you know what I'm saying? Like, he took Dickie's identity, okay? That was a good freaking movie, bro. Yeah, and his reason was that he wanted to be like Dickie because Dickie had it all. Dickie was rich, Dickie was handsome, he had a beautiful woman, and Tom was very lonely, and he said that he felt like he was a nobody, and he wanted to be what he thought was a somebody. He thought Dickie was a somebody. So he killed Dickie and took his identity. Very Lilith and Gemini. I recommend you watching that movie. It's a freaking good movie. And Jude Law was fine. Ooh, Jude Law was so fun. Anyways, with the Lilith and Gemini, when it comes to your karma and what you are here to do, how to not let the darkness of your Lilith and Gemini take over is to have healthy outlets of communication. You know, ways where you can help the world to be a better place through your communication. Being a part of organizations, you know, human rights organizations, or something where you can be a public figure where you speak and you say things that are more positive, things that help people to live a better life. You know, communication is really important to you. And there's no escaping it. Like, you really want to communicate. You really need to communicate. But sometimes you just need to communicate so much that you end up communicating about BS that you don't need to communicate about, or starting trouble with your mouth. But no, be a part of something where you can use your gift of persuasion and your gift of speech to make the world a better place. You know, writing inspiring poetry and things like that. Edgar Allan Poe was a Lilith and Gemini, all right? I used to really be into Edgar Allan Poe back in the day, all right? And he's a writer, you know. Gemini energy is very much writer, poet energy. And his poetry was typically very dark, okay? So this is the dark side of Gemini, dark writing, because Gemini rules writing. And Lilith is the dark side of it all. So Edgar Allan Poe, he expressed his darkness of, you know, darkness with words and darkness with the way that he thought. He expressed that through writing and through poetry. His poetry was very dark and very depressing, and I can't remember a lot of stuff that he wrote about this. Man, I haven't read Edgar Allan Poe in forever, man. I think he wrote about like death and stuff. I don't really remember. I guess I gotta brush up on my Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, so the worst of Lilith and Gemini is just straight up manipulation and trickery. Okay, so be careful with that. I hope that you all enjoyed my analysis of Lilith and Gemini. Next, I will be coming out with my placement, which is Lilith in Cancer. That's going to be a very interesting one. Y'all, I'm trying to do these comedy skits. Like, I don't know. I was working on this birth chart reading, and I kind of it got in the way of me writing a script for my comedy skit. I know I promised y'all a comedy skit like last week, but yeah, I'm sorry. It just didn't happen. I had a lot of other stuff I had to deal with, but I'm working on it. It'll be coming out as soon as I can get it out, all right? Thank y'all for watching this video. Give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Subscribe to this freaking YouTube channel and subscribe to my other YouTube channel called IttyBittyBlackAlien. I just posted a story time on there about this crazy date that I had. I'm posting more like fashion, story time, beauty, health, you know, like self-care type of stuff on that channel. So check that channel out. The link for that channel will be in the description box below. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, you're nasty and you need to seek therapy. Boo-boo, because you got problems. I love you. Deuces.